right. What is up, everybody? Another week. Well, second one of 2024. We already had some gems drop this week as far as podcasts and other things like that go. A lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Uh Behind the curtains, what goes on behind the scenes, Hollywood and all other things. It's like 2024 is like the year of reveals. We're seeing a lot of stuff coming out about individuals, and I mean, I guess it's a continuation from last year, at the tail end of last year, going rolling into this year, but a lot of stuff going on or so early in the year. Usually you see this like middle of the year, maybe right before football or something like that.
Oh yeah, it is different. The truth is, well, we don't know if it's truths yet, but it's accusations are out there, and it's it's going to ruin some careers, and people are going to be looked at differently.
Mm-hmm. Most
And
definitely.
and and that kind of brings me on the topic where when it's dealing with women, um, and how we, as men, look at view women. When I was growing up, we always look for the lady. We want a woman, to carry herself appropriately.
That wasn't always the case growing up. I don't know why you say when you were growing up, because everybody goes through the same phase. So when you were younger, oh yeah, we ran around chasing tail and everything like that is what you meant to say.
It was different. It
It
was
wasn't
different.
different. It wasn't different. Only difference was you had older vehicles and you did the drive-in movies. It wasn't too. It wasn't different.
Drive drive-in
That's why you
movies. No,
start
we
laughing
had
because
movie
you know about the
theaters.
drive-in.
We had movie
I know
theaters.
about the drive-in movies. I know about your era in the drive-ins. Had a little
There's a
tray with
few.
the popcorn sitting on the side of the car and the Coke.
There's only like one I knew of drive-in movie.
But you still knew about the
But
drive-in movie. That was the spot.
but but today, your era and below, um, y'all want the freaky lady. You're not looking for that wholesome, down to earth woman. You want that,
I would say a
you
small
know.
percentage is looking for that. If you haven't been, if you clearly just, I guess you were too busy in storage trying to look for your books from last week's episode. You clearly haven't been hearing what's going on. A
Well,
lot
tell
of
me,
a
tell
lot
me.
of a lot of people in my demo, a lot of men in my demographic are wanting the lady more, the more feminine, more, the queen, or I guess would be the term that you want to say. A small percentage are doing the whole, oh, the freaky lady, or the lady that does, the OnlyFans or whatever the case may be. That's a small percentage compared to the majority.
But why those messages in their DMs from guys like you?
Small percentage.
It is
it
a
is.
small
Hey, it's a
percentage.
small percent. It's a small
If it was a
percentage.
small percentage, why would they even have make money on it? All the money they're making in OnlyFans.
Because it's a small percentage of guys giving an absurd amount of money. What you mean? It's not everybody. Out of a
I didn't
hundred
say
percent,
everybody
out of
is not
look, out
it's
of
not absolute.
if we do out of 100% of the men, and what 10 to 15%, the smaller percentage, if they're all donating 100 million, okay, so 100 million. I mean, a million
100
men.
million.
No, no, no,
That's
no,
about it.
no. I
That's
was
not
saying the
right.
number. I was saying you have a million men, right? 10% of
Right.
that is 100,000, right? So
Mm-hmm.
15% and what, 150,000,
1,000.
right around there roughly. So if they're all donating $10,
I,
if
I
they're
don't
all
know
donating
how.
$10 or subscribing,
But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
and
You're
that's a
making a
small
lot of money.
percentage of men. So you have the other
But that's not what
85%.
they're making. That's not what they're making though. They're making more. They
Right, but
flashing and
and I'm
all that
saying
stuff.
that small percentage is dropping $200 plus on these women. Like, it's a small percentage, but yes, those are the men that are dropping that kind of cash because they have expendable income, nothing else to do.
I see it as a trend that's picking up, and you can even see it in people who are not OnlyFans. You know, the things that these women would do just to get clout or get attention.
Mm-hmm.
Body, you exposing more of their body, getting these surgeries and things like that. So in their mind, that's what the young men your age and below want. So they're appealing to what you want. You're giving them the green light.
They're appealing to the men that have consistently showed them that attention. They're not appealing to me. They're appealing to that small, once again, that small percentage of men that are giving them the attention. You know this, and you can't just say, "Oh, you guys all are." It's that small percentage. If somebody, if one,
that wouldn't work in my generation.
You a damn lie.
That's not working on my generation.
You a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar right now, because I know good and well.
Oh no, I can say there's some people in your generation. I can say it's a few.
No, there's some people in your generation that's contributing to that.
Small.
Oh, so now you want to do the same. So now you want to do the same. Now you want to do the same thing. Shoes on the other foot. Now you want to say it's small.
But hey, no. The thing about it is the income. What I'm saying is the income for the massive income for the people doing those type things are coming from younger guys. Older guys not doing that. My age and above as much.
Y'all the big spenders. Y'all the ones dropping that kind of money. What you mean?
No. These guys, we call it. They're messing up the game for y'all guys. They lead with their wallets. We don't lead with our wallet.
So you telling me there's nobody in your age bracket that flies women out to go on
dates? Who doesn't? You see anybody like us? Hold on a second. In my group, got money, stacks of money doing this.
They don't do
the
that.
internet.
However,
do you see that? Do you see that?
However,
I'm asking you, do you see that?
You don't see that. However,
okay.
However, how many times do we hear the story of, oh, he flew me out and bought me all this stuff and he didn't really want anything from me? I wonder which demographic does that. Just, I don't have to show the money, but I'll buy you a ticket and fly you out and let you know I got it. Yeah, looking at you, old man. Looking at you. Exactly. You don't need. You'll sit there and be like, "Yeah, look at my cars. Look at my cars. I don't need to show you that money. Look at I bought you a plane ticket. I flew you out. I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to that.
No. Y'all guys do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're discounting that your generation and below are not nurturing this new trend.
I'm not saying that. I'm not discounting it. I'm saying that it's across a lot of different generations. However,
I'm not saying, you do have one-offs in my generation. Absolutely.
It's not one. It ain't one. Don't act like it's one. No.
Oh, so you say we are the biggest?
No, I'm not saying you're the biggest. You're part of that. Your generation, just like my generation. There's a small percentage across the board of men that are contributing to those salaries.
Only thing we contribute to is we'll fly our lady out.
They're not your lady though. They're your mistress. Yeah. Most of the time, it's a mistress. I'm not listening to you. It's a mistress. It's a mistress. You know it, and I know.
No. You're saying that he has a virtuous woman at home. He's married, and he's flying out some other chick.
If a man has money, expendable money, and his wife doesn't want anything to do with them, and he's married just for the sake of the kids, absolutely.
Well, the kids should be grown by now. Oh well, yeah. Sometimes just to keep the family intact. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's possible. That is possible. But how often do you see the women now? They are not married, have kids, but they fly out to these guys, basketball players and things like that, searching for the bag, a sugar daddy per se. And it's mainly not in my generation.
Stop it. Stop it, because the people are already gonna agree with me on this one. So I don't know why you keep trying to be like not my generation. Because let me
Not
ask you
as much
this.
in my generation. Not as much in my
Let me ask you
generation.
this. What what
Okay.
what is the typical age that women of that go for if they're 20 something? Because I can tell you right now, it's
Let's
not
say
some
40 and below.
40 and above. Let's get it right. It ain't 40 and above. It's 40. Unless you're an athlete, most women in like their 20s, maybe early 30s, they're going after somebody in their 40s, early 50s. If they're going after
Nah.
the bag. If they're going after the bag. Now if it's a
Okay.
a regular lady, then it is, she has her preferences, whatever the case may be. Maybe 2 years older, 2 years younger, 5 to 10 years, something like that. I don't know. But if they're chasing that bag, usually it's somebody who's established or in their 40s or early 50s.
Okay. It's some legitimacy in what you're saying, but you think about it, for that person to get to that level, he he has to have discipline and the resources, okay, just to get
Mhm.
to the point where he can have the resources to do things or enjoy himself in any manner he see fit. But to to get to that level, that's being reckless when in the case of trying to as a mistress or whatever, that you could lose everything behind that. Why would you risk that with the maturity level that you have gained to even get to that point? So that's what I'm saying. It's one-offs there, but
Only
that's
one
not
off.
that's not the norm because you got too much to lose.
I mean,
You,
if you're running a multi-million or
how
multi-billion,
many people doing that? How many people
the
doing that?
people that are going after those people are the ones doing it. What you
But,
mean?
but it's not that many. It's not that many.
It's the 1%. They're going
That's
after
right.
they're going after the
That's
1%.
what I'm saying. The 1%. I mean,
You act like
how
people
many
in my
people
age
fall in that
bracket.
category?
You act like people in my age bracket are the one
There's
percent.
a lot of
There's
young
more in
men.
your age bracket than the 1% than mine. What do you mean?
What I'm saying is, yeah, it's more millionaires now than it were before.
Because there's more avenues to get the resources.
Right. So, and how old are they? They're real young.
Not real young. They're in their early
Uh,
40s. They're in their early
well,
40s.
no, but they're fairly young. You know, they might not be multi-millionaires, but they're millionaires, and they're pretty young because of technology and how things are going, and how the trend is today. So it's not in my demographic because it's so much to lose because you done built so much.
I can give you a prime example right
But
now.
that's going to
Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio. How old is he? In your age
oh yeah,
bracket.
yeah,
And and
and he's
what age group does he date that? What
young, yeah,
okay.
young,
And then
yeah.
when does he
Okay,
stop dating them? When they're what, in their late 20s?
when they start hitting close to
Okay.
30, and that's the
Hmm.
trend that.
So
But okay, he does, but that's just one.
that's
It's
not
not you don't see. Hold on. What I'm saying is, you do see those things like that sometimes, but how many people at his level?
Oh, that
How
are
many people?
public about it? Probably not a lot, but there are a lot of people that are that are public about it. Probably not too many, but there are a lot of people that do it. I mean, this has been something. Not saying that it doesn't happen to people in my age bracket. If you have money, you're going to get eyes on you, especially if you are if you're like published in an article, or if you're talked about, you're going to get eyes on you. If you're not talked about and you just low key, you're not going to experience those issues. It's when you are the figurehead or you're somebody that's looked at in a position of power. That's when you get the eyes on you, and those situations start to occur.
Absolutely, and what I'm saying is the way social media and things out there now in technology, God's not going to risk their livelihood or their way of life to take those type chances
They,
at my
they
age.
do. And you know why? Because they haven't signed NDAs. That's how it goes.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, in some cases,
That's how it goes. They sign NDAs. So it's like you talk about it, I have the right to
right?
sue you. That's how it works.
Well, people are talking now, just like
Oh
we
yeah. I
started
mean,
off.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, everything's are coming out now.
After the NDA wears off, they're like, yeah, you got a 10-year NDA. They probably put some time. They usually put
Timeline
a
on it, or
timeline on it. It's like you can't talk about this for X amount of years, whatever the case may be. And now that you're hearing this, oh, he did this long ago. It makes sense.
but and you're right. You're right. It's across the board in a sense, but the numbers are smaller in my generation, and it increases further down you go because it's the norm. That's not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. This is a new norm, and um, the fact that it's deteriorating what the family structure is. Because back in the day, you think about it. You think about it. Back in the day, you get married, and I'm looking at having a arranged marriages seem to last longer than quote unquote dating someone to see if you're compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, with that dating quote unquote air quotes philosophy, it hasn't proven itself. Dating opens everything up to what we're getting right now. You know, people not valuing relationships. They're just valuing what they can get out of it. Courting is a parental, just like arranged marriages is a parental um involvement. Uh, when you allow someone, the families get together and say, hey, we need to get these two together, whatever. This dating aspect where it's independent on the person, that's where you end up with, oh, I got to show myself in a certain way to get the attention on my value up, which you really end up getting a high body count. And then you try to be a lady, which you're not, because once you go over to that other side, you can't go back. It's hard to, okay, I'm a freak out here now, but now I'm ready to get married, so I'm gonna be a lady. You're still a freak. You can't change that. So now this is where I'm putting up the flags for you guys. When you get quote unquote that lady who cares herself, and then you go sleep with her, and then you see another side, you better run. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I want the lady, in the streets when she carry herself, but a freak in the bed." Right? I know that's your philosophy. Every
That's
philosophy
not my
your
philosophy.
guys on down.
That was a song that was heralded by everybody that came out in the early 2000s. No,
Your age group. That's not mine.
that's what y'all were listening to in the clubs when I wasn't old enough to go. Oh yeah, I want a lady in the streets. Yeah, don't act like you were don't act like you were part of that.
No, I want a lady all the time.
Don't act like you were part of that when you went out to the club. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So why are you willing, your generation and below, willing to accept that freakish behavior and marry them?
I can't speak for them because that's not me. I can't speak for what they do. Like I said, they may try to do that. I'm gonna become a housewife, and you'll have that one person that'll try to make it work. And there's always gonna be one in every scenario. There's always gonna be one person to be like, I can do it. Hey, more power to you, man. That
And this is the scary part. When you back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Go
you,
ahead.
you get married
Mm-hmm.
to a virtuous woman,
Uh-huh.
young. She's young. She's young. You're probably in your 30s. She's probably in her early
She
20s.
showed some ankle, didn't she? That's what got you. She showed some
No,
ankle.
no,
she showed
no,
some
the
she showed
parents got involved and said these two guys, two people can really make something happen. Now, the thing is, she's probably a virgin at this time. So when he marries her, he's one body. Let's say he dies or whatever, or he passes on, or even divorce. But divorce wasn't an option back then. He dies, so she's a widow. She's only had one man. She only had one body. Now, today's society, but and I'm talking about even for people who I have to choose from to marry. How many bodies you think that person has? With today's society, how many bodies do you think that my potential wife has by the time I get to her at my age?
mm-hmm.
It's, it could be the way it's starting out now, and I hear the numbers of the youth now.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about three digits.
I mean, can it be the same for both sides though? Not saying. I mean, I know. We get to the whole thing about her being in three digits, but I'm like, I know people that were already in that in that realm, mid-20s, and I was just like,
Mid 20s.
guys, like people that I knew,
Oh, okay.
people I
Okay.
knew, and I was just like, all right, so I hear what you're saying, but I'm just like, it's gonna be the same on both sides. So I'm like, I don't know. Feel like that's starting to, for some people, it's starting to go to the wayside because they're both coming up at the same time. So it's just like, oh, I have three digits. Oh, I have three digits. Okay, well, whatever, look past that kind of thing. I don't know. Me in particular. No, that ain't how I roll. Um,
Mm.
but to each their own. I mean, I can't tell you how to live. You
No,
got.
no,
I can't tell
but
you
but
what to do.
but the thing about it is that's what you're gonna have the pool you're gonna have to choose from. And think about it. What if you only have two
Mm-hmm.
and low twos?
How the hell are you gonna have a low
I,
two?
I, I, I,
Wait a
I
minute. Wait
mean,
a minute. Wait a minute.
10, about 10, 10,
You
10.
said, I'm like, how you gonna have a low two?
Uh,
You gonna
uh, your 30s, 40s, in your 30s and 40s, you got 10. And every woman you meet got hundreds.
Mhm. I mean, it's time to
Don't you
move.
think?
It's time to move to the Midwest.
So that's why it's so important to get married and keep those numbers down and have a
I
family.
wouldn't say it's important to get married. It's important to choose your partner wisely. You don't want to rush to get married and be divorced 5, 6 times because you chose the wrong person.
Oh, but you can rush and go into bed with 100
So
different
how
people.
much money do you want to lose, Jay? Here's the question:
Well, I'm
How
just
much
saying.
would you rather?
How much money are you spending? How much money are you
Here's
spending on
but here's the
on those stuff?
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
Would you rather lose 50% 6 times or deal with that person that had 20 or 30 and be that one person for the rest of your life?
I'll be with that 20 or 30 and be with the person.
Okay. So exactly. So you want to make sure you find one person instead of getting divorced 6 times and losing 50% of your income each time,
That's
right?
right. Right. But you got to go into marriage with the right things. Absolutely, you want to go into marriage. But what I'm saying is, what are you going to have to pick from when they got hundreds of bodies? in their 20s,
I hear
early
you.
20s.
I understand that, but that's early 20. When am I dating somebody in their early 20s? That's not me. I'm not
By the time they get to 30, what are they going to be?
in the 30s. They're going to be in their 30s. What you mean? I don't.
Married to you. Married to you.
No, no. You got to have a. For me, it's a window. It's like, okay, on this end and this end, that's where I keep it at. If they're not in this realm, I don't look at it. 5 years. Like 5 years below me, or 5 years.
Give it 5 years.
They're still in it.
You got to change the mentality of the society to think that that's not okay. But they're saying your group and your generation, and you're promoting it in everything you do, that is okay. You even said it. Oh, I got 100 because I had 100. My friends got 100, hundreds. So hey,
No, what I
this
said,
is part of it.
what I said was, I think people are looking past that now because a lot of people, from what you're saying, if she's coming up in their 20s and he's coming up in their 20s and they both have the same amount, a lot of times it's going to be kind of hard for people like that to look past and try to find somebody else who has a lower count, because if that is the way it's going, if
I
that's the
bet
way.
you guys looking for one with a
Oh,
lower count.
I know they are, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is from what you just told me, right? If the
Mm-hmm.
count is going to be, if the count is high in their 20s, you're a guy in your 20s. What makes you think you're going to find a girl in a lower count if you're both in the same age demographic?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be a change in mentality so that the numbers will stay down.
That's what I was getting at earlier. It's like it's going to be hard for a lot of people to look past that because you're in the same age demographic with the same numbers. And
Right,
that's why I
right.
proposed the question. It's like, would you rather get divorced 6 times, or would you rather deal with somebody with or would you rather
No,
deal with somebody who's at maybe 20 or 30 people, or whatever the case may be? That's the kind of situation you're in. That's the kind of situation you're putting yourself in now. It's like, do you
no.
want to go through and rush to get married? Oh, I married the girl who has one, but it doesn't work out, so I'm divorced. So now that's another asterisk. Why are you divorced? What happened there? That's another little asterisk in your your dating folder. So the more times you get divorced, that's going to scare off more people. So then your pool gets even smaller.
It gets even smaller. And I get that. But why would you wait? Because that person number is going to keep going up, especially with the dating
Mm-hmm.
philosophy. So you do better off just marrying there while they love, and pray for the best, because only eventually you're only going to end up with somebody with a high body count, right?
I'd like my money. I,
Well,
I like my
just
money.
saying, I'm just saying, if you don't marry early, you're going to end up with somebody with a high body count.
Well, for that
But
generation
no
now,
man,
yeah.
right? No man that values himself or things like that, for the most part, want his wife to have a high body count.
And just to be clear, it's not across the board. It's not like every woman.
No, no, no,
So
no.
you're going
It's
to be
not.
able to find somebody that is a low. You should be able to.
It
If
should be.
you should be able
Some
to.
of the small.
I mean, with how many people there are in the world, I'm sure there's there, what, 8 billion people. I'm sure you'll be able to find one out of 8 billion. You can sit there and make that face if you want to, but
But the thing is, can you travel? Can you go out?
well, that's
Can,
why you do. That's why you
because
do that time to work on yourself and get your money right, right?
that's
That's
right.
what you're saying.
Absolutely. You should always do that. You should always do that. Every man should always do that. But what I'm saying is the mentality and the philosophy that society is heading or nurturing is going in the wrong direction. The virtuous woman is almost extinct. Hopefully, it'll come back. Just like they preserve the wildlife.
Hmm.
Hopefully, society will start nurturing that again. And it's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's why since you want to relate to my generation, we have to go down there and get them before y'all contaminate them.
That's not even it. Don't even start with the get 'em before y'all contaminate them. No, 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 no,
We ain't
no,
trying to save
no,
them
no,
from you
no,
guys.
no.
You guys, we're trying to save them. That's why we now
Y'all are like,
while they're
I'm gonna
young,
give you a good
so
reference.
that we can save them.
I'm gonna give you a perfect reference. Y'all are like can't get right from Life when he saw the warden's daughter. That's how y'all are when you see them young. Oh, I gotta fly her out. That's how y'all act when you see
we're saving them. We're saving them.
So
because y'all guys don't know how to
don't you remember don't you remember the great line? She don't save her. She don't want to be saved. So why are you doing
that's where it's going.
So why are you doing it? So why are you doing it?
Hey, I don't know why y'all guys save the ones with high body counts and try to make them a wife. And next thing you know, they're back out in the street.
Hey.
And you talk about getting a divorce. You marry somebody who's out there like that, and you say guys out there like that too, they're going to end up cheating, just like the guy's going to end up cheating if he don't have his mind right. They got to realize that, look, when you give yourself to someone, male and female, you're one. You're one. And you can't wash those bodies away in the shower. That becomes a part of you. That their energy you had this word energy. Their energy, their vibe is a part of you now. You heard that saying you can't turn to a housewife, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. So what's the
definition of that? What's the definition of the hoe? What's the definition of the hoe? What's the definition of a hoe? A lot of bodies, right? A lot of bodies, right?
So once again,
a lot of bodies, right?
Why are you flying them out to be on your boats and stuff like that?
Saving them.
Why are you flying them out on your boats and everything like that?
Listen. When you get that 1%, he wants the purest woman he can find.
I know you lying. I know you lying. I know you're lying.
And when he flies her out, he's trying to save her.
No, he's not. He's not trying to save her. No, he ain't trying to save her.
I want to believe that's what he's trying.
I'm sorry, but that ain't the reality. You may believe, but that ain't the reality. He ain't flying out to save her. No.
But you don't think that's what he's trying to do? Save her?
Absolutely not. No. People
usually no. So you get confused with flying out somebody like an OnlyFans.
No,
I don't. That's not what I'm talking about.
You're not going to fly them out. No, I don't. I don't get it confused at all. I see perfectly clear. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what's going on.
Who is he flying out?
Usually, when it comes to that kind of situation, they're not married. They have expendable income. They can just do whatever they want. Okay, I'm gonna fly her out, get my rocks off, and keep it moving. Go about my day. Sign this NDA, please. Don't talk about it. Keep it moving.
No, I'm thinking they see this. Now, it depends on how they meet. Now, if it's online stuff, it's possible, depending on what her profile is. But if he just meets a beautiful woman, young woman, at a dinner date or something like that, if he flies her out, it's with a purpose. I mean, other than that.
Yeah, you're right. It's with the purpose. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's with the purpose. Thank you.
Other than that, that he wants to get to know her. He wants to show her.
Why? I'm trying to understand why you're trying to make. What's that movie? Was it Pretty Woman? Where she was an escort and he flies her out. And why are you trying to make? That's not how. That's not how this works. That's not how it's going to work. I'm sorry. Reality don't work like that.
Like I said,
You fly them out for one
I
reason and
think
one reason only.
so. So you think an older gentleman who meets a young female doesn't look to marry her
He may.
eventually?
It depends. He
Okay,
may.
okay, that's what I'm saying. That's right.
He may. But
So,
usually, if he meets a
oh,
younger woman, if you're in your 50s and you meet somebody in your 20s, you trying to live
mhm.
young again. You trying to be forever young.
No, no, no. You're
Okay.
trying
You
to.
really, you
You
really,
try,
you really want to go down that road?
no,
You
no, no.
really want to
I'm
go?
gonna tell you what he's trying to do. His legacy, especially if he doesn't have kids. If he doesn't have kids, you want to have kids with this woman. You want to marry this woman. Now, if you're my age and you're married and you have kids and you fly somebody out, that's totally different. That's a
They're
totally different
they're
situation.
not looking to have kids. Okay? They're not looking to have kids.
You
If
think
you're
a
why you
successful
wouldn't.
you think a successful man in his 50s, no kids, doesn't want to have kids?
No, I think they're more concerned.
They do.
I think they're more concerned about continuing their empire and generating their
But,
wealth.
but to leave it to who when they die?
Donate it. Some people do it. I don't know.
Well, some people do it, but what I'm saying is that's not what they
Most of
want to do.
most of the time they
They
don't even.
want to leave it to their kids.
Most of the
They
time they
want
don't
some,
even leave it to their kids. You know this.
oh yeah, I mean you see that once in a while, but the thing is, 9 times out of 10, they want to leave their legacy. The kids are their legacy. So when they don't have kids, they got no choice but to donate it somewhere. But if a man in his 50s meets a woman or flies a woman out in her 20s and he's interested in her, he wants to have kids, get married, and have kids with that woman for the most part.
I say it's a 20% chance.
The prospect.
20%
But
chance because if you're flying, it's just if I hear you flying out somebody, I'm like you're there to just show them a good weekend and send them on their way. You're not here
if they
to.
don't gel,
I
he
mean,
he he's looking
regardless,
for a wife. He's looking for a wife.
regardless, you're just there to show them a good weekend and send them on their way. When you're there to show them a good weekend and send them on
Yeah,
their way,
yeah.
you're not. Mm-mm.
Okay, if you go on a dating site or if you're doing OnlyFans or whatever, and you see a girl and you start communicating that way, I can say you probably it's fly in, fly you back out. Have a good time, fly you back out. But if you meet a woman and you introduce yourself, you talk, not through social media or anything, but you continue your communication through social media, but you didn't start off that way. And you fly that person out, you're interested in that person. You want to, I believe, more than likely interested in somebody who's single, established, my age and older. He's looking to marry with no kids. If they have no kids, then they're looking to marry and have kids someday with that particular woman, just to see if they vibe, or I'm gonna use your slang vibe, or the energy is right, that they can build together.
They're not because there's so many. There's. Mm-mm.
I know you can't understand it.
No, I can understand it.
Uh,
I'm just. If you're in your 50s, you have disposable income to fly somebody out. You can have a kid. You don't have to get married. You still pay her off, whatever, because you have disposable income. Not saying that
that's
that's going to be the case. Not saying that's not going to be the case. There's your legacy right there. I'll pay you X amount of dollars a month. There you go. However, normally, if you're flying somebody out, well, I'm like, where are you going to get the time to meet somebody out and about normally when you're running a business?
Dinner, business meetings, business gatherings, networking events, things like
So
that.
if you're doing
Oh,
that,
in the airport, going between destinations. You can meet somebody on the train. You can meet
how
somebody at
many,
the store.
let me ask you, how many times have you interacted with somebody at any of these locations?
Huh?
Okay, exactly. Exactly.
What I'm saying is
How many times? No, no,
I
no, no.
interact.
Don't skate around the question. Don't
Hold
skate
on.
around the question.
I'm gonna answer the question. I meet people all the time, but it's all friendly. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's all right. Exactly. It's friendly.
Eh,
So you're not looking for anything, right?
but I didn't see anything I was interested in the first place. So
I mean,
I
yeah,
still, I still communicated with them.
good way to dance around the question. Good way to dance around the question. Because what I asked was, how many times do you actually go to those places? Do you interact with somebody like, I'm gonna fly her out? No, she doesn't live where I live. Let me get her
No,
key so I can
no,
fly her
no,
out.
no. Let's say um I'm at the airport. I'm just use that. Sit there
Hmm.
waiting to board. Talk to somebody.
Are you going
Sitting
out?
beside
So
you.
you're talking to
Oh,
somebody sitting
oh,
beside you because I'm gonna let you know exactly what's happening in that situation. I'm gonna let you know exactly what's happening in that situation.
and you're holding a conversation, talking about the weather, talk about where they're from
Uh,
or
uh,
whatever.
uh,
They fly, they going here, they going there, and just having a casual conversation. Then the conversation keeps going. Then you say, okay, well, I got family there or something like that, and then you say,
uh,
okay, let's exchange numbers,
mm-hmm.
and then that's how you keep the communication going if you're interested. So what? So what's your take
Because
on
we know good and well you're gonna have some headphones in. You're not paying attention to anybody that's around you. Let's be serious. How many people are actually looking around and be like, oh, let me go to
it?
hey,
Oh
how are
no,
you doing? How are you doing? Let me interrupt you from what you're focusing on and talk to you about how you're doing so I can get to know you better. How many times did I actually
absolutely very few because most of the people on their phone.
exactly.
Like
Because
you
you know
said,
what?
got
You want to know
this.
why? You want to know why? It rolls back in that I'm not trying to be another statistic. I'm not trying to be somebody gets thrown out the airport for saying I harass them. I'm keeping my focus in my zone.
That's scary. So now you make a very valid point. The only way you can talk to somebody is through a dating app
I mean, you could talk to
and
people
social media.
like on campus or in your job, but you usually don't want to.
Man, how many 50 something year old on campus
Well, I'm saying I said on
walking around?
campus, or I'm saying different depending on where you're at. Like you usually interact with people out socially in different areas. But when you're like at a, depending on who you are, like me and you, we're about our, not trying to, not trying to,
Right,
like if it's somebody else, they can probably take that chance to get away with it, you know.
right.
But
That's right.
me and you, nah, I already know. We're head down, focused, just waiting to hear our flight so we get out of
That's
there.
right.
Exactly. So usually you may end up seeing somebody, you may, depending on where you go, but it's usually like in the office or campus or something like that is where you typically find somebody that you may find attractive. And even then, it's one of those murky waters you don't want to get into.
That's right. That's right. No, absolutely. And so what I'm saying is this guy's not going to. I'm gonna circle back to his intent is not just to you know
It is.
score.
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you just say, "Oh, it's not his." It is.
No. I think when you're younger, it probably is.
No,
But
when you have disposable income, you be like, I can do whatever I want. Yeah, let me wake up and see. Let me look through. Let me look through Instagram. See what's
see,
going on.
Instagram, all that. See, it's just.
But how many of y'all
I
have
mean,
Instagram?
I don't.
I know you don't, but how many of y'all, that 1%, have Instagram?
Probably all of them.
Okay, then exactly is what I'm talking about. So when you have a
Yeah,
disposable income, you can flex, be like, oh, let me just fly you out. Okay. You know what it is? Bing, bang, boom.
we need to change that.
Yeah, y'all need to change. Y'all need to change.
We need to change that. If that's the case, if and the fact that you see it like that, you're gonna be here
You right.
one day.
You right.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
I'm
do?
gonna keep doing what I'm doing now. My mother business.
So so your wealth, everything you work for, you're just gonna let it go.
I
Just give
mean,
it a chance.
me personally, I don't need that much money to be happy to begin with. So I probably end up spreading it out, like help, like
Send
going
it to
back.
me. Send it to me. I'm gonna still be around.
I was about to say,
I'm gonna
okay,
still be. I might be 100 and something, but I'll still be here. Send it to me. I'll take it.
yeah,
I
but
mean, and I'll look just like this, and I'll look just like that.
no, you're gonna try and get yourself frozen like they did in Star Wars, carbonite, get carbonite so I can live forever.
But I just saw something that I wanted to talk about. The reason why I want to talk, it's just society has just really, in a sense, run amok when it comes to sex, um, the family. It's like anything, everything is good, it's cool, do whatever you want to do, um, have kids, and a woman having kids, men having a bunch of kids out here and don't care. Um, the family structure is almost like, you got guys, saying, I don't want to even be married now.
Mm,
That's scary. That's scary. And you start to see it in society that these young men are so emotional. It's and they're reacting emotionally when they're not supposed to be that emotional. I mean, we have emotions, but we shouldn't react emotionally like I'm seeing out in society, taking lives because your feelings got hurt,
mm.
because you don't want to date me anymore. And it's just this loose lifestyle that's creating it. Just fatherless, you got just mothers raising all the kids and the father out here creating more, and no accountability. And then next thing you know, they got an OnlyFans page and they got DMs. They get fly all over the place, and it's the only person suffering doing this is society and the kids. That's the reason why I brought the topic up.
So basically, if
Find
you
you a
had,
lady, find you a lady, marry her, and let the freaks do what they do.
so TLDR, if you have pretty privilege, you'll be all right. If you have pretty privilege, you'll be.
Natural beauty, not that drawn on stuff. It has to be real, because you think about it. A beautiful woman, she don't have to do all that. She don't have to put all that stuff on,
Mhm.
and she's beautiful. But if you got to do all that, you're fooling yourself,
There
because
always will be,
that's not.
but the hint, like I said again, there will always be one. Someone will always go for it. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
like,
somebody will save them.
yeah,
Somebody will save them.
it'll always be one. So until there's none, it's
But the sad thing about it is, men, they might get saved if you don't get your act together, level up, work on yourself. They're not going to save you.
Was that what you were trying to end on right there? You just trying to?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. Just a warning to
Just
the
wanted to
men.
be sure in case you had something else. You trying to drop some little truth
That's
bombs
it.
or something like that. It's like, let me drop Jay's truth bomb on the at the end of the segment. He's trying to do
Uh,
something new for 2024
no, I'm just hitting you with knowledge. Hitting you with knowledge.
while yelling at the moon and the clouds.
Somebody got, hey, I'm praying for you. I'm looking up, praying for you, praying for
I'm gonna be all
your
right.
generation and below.
I'm gonna be all right. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be just fine.
Hey, I hope you got something from this. Young people, older people as well,
Yeah. Stop flying them
and
out
and we're and we're coming hard. 2024. This is just the start.
and stop flying them out. And we're that's all I'm gonna say.
Peace.
Later.